The Communion Girl. It's May 1987 in a small town. Sarah had just recently moved there and feels she doesn't belong. Her best friend is Rebe. One night, they go to a disco, take drugs, and during the journey home, they find a doll dressed in a First Communion dress. From that moment on, the nightmare will begin. This film has a story that is not that original, as it's similar to countless other productions that explore a theme about an urban legend, in this case, a Spanish one. Still, we found it interesting enough to watch. It's worth mentioning that this movie is not scary, although there are some parts that give you a good scare, but nothing more. This film gives you the feeling that you're watching more of a supernatural thriller than a horror movie. The story itself develops in a decent way, so to speak, although it is somewhat predictable, full of cliches, with parts that lose continuity and connection to the story, leaving you somewhat confused. Then comes the end, an ending that is without a doubt the worst thing about this film. Without giving out any spoilers, we will only tell you that the ending leaves much to be desired, is weak in its argument, and was unnecessary, since it leaves you with more questions than answers. The ending gives you the impression that the producers had already thought about making a sequel when filming this movie. In our opinion, they could have made a better film, starting with the ending. Production elements such as the cinematography, special effects and makeup are acceptable. As for the performances, these are usually average. We find this production average in its entirety, so we give it a score of 2 stars out of 5. It's not a bad film, and to watch it or not will depend on the taste of each viewer. Tin and Tina. After a traumatic miscarriage, a young couple adopts 2 peculiar twins from a convent whose obsession with religion soon disturbs the family. This film has a story that seems to be interesting and intriguing after you read the plot summary, but the truth is that it's not when you end up watching it due to the bad way the story is captured on the screen. For starters, this movie is not scary at all. Rather, it is what it is. Just a simple, terrorless psychological thriller that does not offer much to the viewer. The overloaded religious aspect of the story, together with the cliches present in it, mixed with a sometimes weak and slow plot argument, ended up boring us. On the other hand, the performances of the cast seemed average to us, and to be honest, the acting of the 2 child actors was mediocre and irritating. That spoils how the story unfolds from the first moment they appear. Even with both an acceptable cinematography and makeup, this production does not stand out at all. We honestly didn't like this movie, and we found it to be bad. That's why we give it a score of 1 star out of 5. Until next time!